What's good, guys? So in this video, I'm gonna go over my income that I've made as a programmer on the Roblox platform, working for companies. I've never, personally, I've never made uh, money from a game that I owned. I mean, I've made like in total maybe almost 20K Robux from games that I owned. So I guess you could say that I made some, right? But I've never converted anything. I've never DevX'd anything, okay? What I've been doing was I've been working for companies, getting paid a salary to program gameplay mechanics and then also software on the platform, okay? Now I just did the math and I've made over $100,000 in total um, since I started working for companies, okay? So that's all the companies that I've worked at. Haven't exceeded 200,000, but I've made over 100,000. Um, and so what were my salaries like? Well, one of my salaries was 45,000 and then I actually got a raise I think to $47,000. That was at one of my companies or one of the companies I worked for. And then my other salary for another company was 50,000 but with a $5,000 bonus. And then another salary was 55,000. And there was a point where I was making around 101,000 yearly salary because I worked at two companies at the same time. Now, a lot of people that do this are very scared to mention it. But I find that if you just don't talk about it, then you're pretty much fine. They'll never find out or they'll never know unless they're investigating you behind the scenes and like kind of stalking you behind the scenes, which is just weird behavior. I don't think a company would ever get involved with that because that could be a lawsuit on them. Um, so yeah. But yeah, I was working at two companies at the same time for roughly 5 to 6 months. I think it was. I think it was like 6 months. Yeah, it was like at least 6 months. Um, so that was cool. Very hard to manage at first. Like it took me a bit to like, okay, make sure that all my tasks are done for each company. Um, but it wasn't difficult to organize for me. I already had a very good system, um, organization wise. So that was cool. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything I've made just from salaries. Oh, and then I've also made, if I'm adding the total up, it's over 10,000 from doing like picking up freelance projects. So I have gotten paid with that as well. The problem with that is it's not a lot. Like at the end of the day, when the project is finished, I'm only getting paid maybe $1 to $2 an hour. Let some of them less than $1 an hour. So I don't recommend, at least um in this space, I don't recommend freelancing. Not in this like specific space, okay? I don't recommend it. It's a hassle. But yeah, I've got paid over all together roughly, maybe even close to 20,000, a little bit over 20,000. I'm not too sure because I've been freelancing in this space for like over 4 years. So could be over 20,000 probably. But yeah, so that is all the money I've made on the platform. And that's how those are the two ways that I've made money on the platform, the only two ways I made money on the platform. I do want to make my own game someday. I do have a very good understanding of why games do well, how to make a game do well, um, why games do poorly, just because I have a ton of marketing experience. So if you don't know, I've been marketing for over 7, 8 years now. It's probably over 8 years now. So I'm really good at marketing. I would say maybe better at marketing than programming, probably, because I'm honestly a shit programmer. But at least I consider myself a bad programmer just because there's certain stuff I just don't care about, you know? Like I'm not a super nerdy guy. I just get the job done. and I like doing the job, so like whatever. But yeah, so that's pretty much all the those are all the bucks I've made. Those are the ways I've made them. And yeah, what I don't recommend is freelancing. I don't recommend freelancing. I don't recommend working for other people in the space. I recommend either pursuing getting a salary job, which is tough. I was very fortunate to find the jobs that I've gotten in this space. It was very, I would say, a luck had a lot to do with it. Now, at the same time, there were things that I did. I carried myself well. I presented myself well. I put the work in to have a decent portfolio. I put the work in to have a presence, make sure that I was consistent on LinkedIn. LinkedIn had a lot to do with it, I think, for at least two of the jobs that I've gotten. And I reached out. That's another thing that I did that other people weren't doing is I reached out. So there was a lot of things that I was doing to put myself in the position to land these opportunities. That being said, I still believe there was a lot of luck because this is such a tiny space. This is such a tiny space. There's very low opportunity in the space. That's why I recommend if you're going to pursue working for a company, get a list of all the companies first, reach out to them. That's it. Like get a decent portfolio, a landing page portfolio, get a landing page portfolio. Um, and so just a one pager of your projects. That's it. No about me, no nothing. Contact of your email at the bottom, GitHub if you're a programmer, and so on. Um, and then go to LinkedIn, post daily on LinkedIn videos of either you speaking to the camera or you going over your projects. You don't have to show your face. You going over your projects in detail, or you creating tutorials or some type of video content daily on LinkedIn that is by you. Okay, I recommend that. And I've helped other people land jobs. Just mind you, this advice, I've seen a few other people use it. One guy was struggling for over 6 months to find a job. Within a month, he found his first job, getting paid $90,000 salary as a programmer, software developer specifically, for a company after he took my advice, right? Which was everything that I've just said: presenting yourself well, making daily posts, having a nice one pager portfolio, um, and then also another piece of advice that I think really landed him the role was in interviews. So what I noticed was that he was constantly failing these interviews. So in interviews, there's something that you want to do, right? So if they're asking you questions and you don't know the answer, you need to say you don't know the answer and then give a quick solution of how you would find the answer. So I'm not sure. I would do this, this, and this. Things not to do: too long of a pause. Having a too long of a pause, bad. Like I would say over 5 to 10 seconds. 5 seconds is like a few seconds is fine. 10 seconds is fine. Over 10 seconds, it's too long of a pause. You need to respond. You need to say something like you don't know. If you don't know, just say you don't know. Communication is key. One of the most powerful things that somebody that can be working in tech, one of their most powerful skill sets that they can have is communication. Saying, hey, I don't know what's going on here. I need help, or something like that, right? Asking questions, just communicating. And that's one of the main things that they're looking for in these interviews. They're not necessarily seeing if you got the answer right or wrong. So that's something to keep in mind, okay? But yeah, I just lost train of thought. But those have been my earnings and the way I've earned. Um, I don't know what else to go over. I'm just gonna play this game real quick. Become a gorilla. So I'm gonna play Become a Gorilla, Become a Spider. That's cool. So very interesting game, I think. And it was on my Discover or the home page. I think Discover and home are two different things. Wow, this is beautiful. I actually really love this. I wonder. This is hilarious. Holy crap. This is actually super cool. Like, I already love this, dude. And now I'm a tiny gorilla. No, I don't want VIP. Oh my god, this is so smart, dude. They took the bubble game and turned it into this. This is so freaking smart. Holy crap. I'm actually, like, very, very impressed right now. And dude, it's games like these, man. Games like these can give you guys ideas of what to do. So like a lot of I've seen a lot of I'm not even gonna, I could go and mess that guy up right now, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna leave him alone. So that's crazy because a lot of there's common I don't know, but I've seen I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, dude, but I've seen people that like, oh, he's gonna leave me alone. What a nice guy. I've seen people that like that think that just because a game has been made, they can't make the same game, which makes zero sense because if you go on the Discover page, it's really this almost the same games, just different brands and by different people. But it's the same game loop, same mechanics, and all that jazz. So it really doesn't make any sense. And so games like this are really freaking smart because they took popular games. I mean, dude, there are so many bubble games out there where it's literally just a bubble and so many of them do well. There's been a cube instead of a bubble where you're just going around on this type of map with a cube. And so what they did was they just took that game and they turned it into this. Like, that's crazy. That's so smart. And it's games like these that can give you guys ideas of like how to make like games, on how to like how to make successful games on the platform. You look at a game on the front page and you just replicate it with it and just do a little tiny spin on it. Don't eat me. Don't eat me. She almost ate me. I wonder if you can eat people in this. I'm just gonna run into somebody. Yep, you ate me. Maybe they're scared that I'm gonna take revenge on them. Because people, you can take revenge in these games, and that's such a good, dude. Like, that's such a good monetization, like, just to have revenge on there. Like, oh no, somebody ate me, like, oh, I gotta do revenge now. Dude, like, that's all money right there. Holy crap. Yeah, this game's gonna do well. This game is gonna do well. Let's go to the, hold on. Let's go to the group and see what's going on with the group. Okay, so they just started. They just started. I wonder if they're running ads. They're on the front. They're on the homepage. So like, they're definitely getting traction, dude. Like, they're in the algorithm right now. But I wonder if they ran ads to boost it. It looks like they just literally duplicated the same game. Like, these are the same freaking games. Yeah, these are the same games. That is crazy. Yeah, they're gonna be successful for sure. What if I just run into the big guy? What if I just run into the big guy and get revenge? Oh, did somebody get revenge? Or did he just like leave the server? I think he just left the server. Yeah, he did. I guess this is this is where you get the bigger stuff. Yeah, these are the bigger bubbles. Don't eat me. I will get revenge. I will get revenge. This is so smart, dude. They had to like have animated the they had to have animated. I'm in some nice servers, dude. Like, nobody's trying to eat me right now. That's crazy. Like, these are actually genuinely some nice servers. I lost train of thought. Yeah, these games are gonna do well. I can already tell. I really like these games. What is this picture? Like, I can barely see it. Oh, it's right there. It's a little scorpion. Okay. It like looks weird floating. Dude, and this game's so simple to make too. What do they got here? All right, skins. No skins yet, so it's definitely in like, it's not like fully launched, I guess. VIP magnet, 2x size. Dude, this game is so simple to make. These mechanics are so simple. Then they have a wheel. Oh, this wheel is beautiful. Very good wheel. Very good wheel, dude. Yeah, this is definitely a really nice game. So then they have group reward. You gotta be a part of the group. Free reward. Then they have starter pack. And then they have diamonds and scorpion size stuff. I wonder how you get the diamonds and what the diamonds are for. Yeah, what are the diamonds for? Hold on. I guess maybe the skins that aren't out yet. That's what I'm assuming the diamonds are for. But I don't know. I like this game a lot. This is a good game. Why is he highlighted though? And what's it? Why does it want me to go here? How am I supposed to go there? I probably just didn't finish a tutorial, maybe. Because it wants me to go wherever it's wanting me to go. I think they messed up. Let me try to get eaten. Oh, I just ate somebody. Oh no. I just ate somebody. I had to apologize. I did not want to do that. That's so funny. That's genuinely hilarious. Oh, he's gonna eat me. He's gonna eat me. Yo, this game is hilarious. Alright, I'm done with this game. Yeah, something else I'll actually go over since we're already here. I'm gonna try to find this video. If it's still up, that's crazy if it's still up. I think he took it down. He must have taken it down, dude. Big time. Wait. Yeah, I think he took it down. This video looks interesting. What is this? What is this video? I've never seen this before.
Do you want to know what the easiest way to make Robux as a solo dev is?
Nah, I'm just joking. I'm not gonna start yelling and spamming sound effects like everyone. For example, this guy wants you to build a cool house for his game, or he wants you to code a simple admin command system. Discord also like channels where if you have any errors, you can ask experienced people for help. Now, that was the first method. The second method to make a ton of Robux as a dev, which is the method I'm using. The link
What's he
is
going
also in
over?
the description.
Finding jobs and hidden
And
tests. Dude, I don't I haven't, look, I'm not gonna roast this guy because I haven't listened to the video, so I don't know if he's giving fair warning or not. But I don't recommend anybody use hidden devs. I don't recommend anybody use hidden devs if they want to start earning. You will be wasting your time unless you're a complete beginner getting paid to learn. What the fuck did I just do? Unless you're a complete beginner getting paid to learn, you will be wasting your time. Okay?
this Discord server is basically full of devs that are hiring builders.
Unless it's a 50-50 partnership, which is just the most which would be a miracle, basically. If you can find a 50-50 partnership with somebody from hidden devs where you guys both get along great and you guys are both professional towards each other, and you guys are both cool with each other, and you know each other's not gonna screw each other over, then okay. But that's like 1 in a million. I feel like it really
Scripters,
is.
artists, and whatnot. And there's also like channels where if you have any errors, you can ask experienced people for help. And now, Bob's on the.
And also the help in there. When I was a beginner, the help in there, there was one guy in there that was really good and really helpful. But for the most part, nobody else was helpful. Really, there's not a lot of helpful people in there.
Now, there are two ways to do commissions. The first way is by finding jobs on the Roblox Talent Hub. The link is in the description.
This isn't good
Jobs.
either. That's not a good method either. People barely respond on there. The way, like, if you post a job on Talent Hub, it's very awful to go. You have to, like, you don't even get notifications if somebody responds. You have to go to the job posting section, click on the specific job, then click on DMs. It's so much. It's like a freaking adventure you have to go through just to freaking go to the messages on there. It's crazy. So people really don't respond much on there. And you get a lot of spam from people that don't know what they're doing. So you have to like filter out so much. So I can imagine so many people that are posting jobs on there are not responding, and they're barely even looking at the messages after getting so much spam and realizing how awful it is on their side. Yeah, I wouldn't
This
recommend
Discord
Talent
server,
Hub.
link
Like,
is
it's something to
awesome.
maybe look at. Like, it's something to look at and, you know, throw a DM here and there to the good jobs that actually are paying, that are saying or they're paying. But to sit there and like take it serious and spend a lot of time on it is, I wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't really involve myself in hidden devs at all. That's just fair warning there.
If you have any errors, you can ask experienced people for help.
Yeah, I think he's just providing info. I don't think he's really. I don't know if this guy has a lot of experience on these platforms, because they truly are
Method to make a
just
ton
a
of Robux
mess.
as a dev, which is the method I'm using, is finding a gimmick. Obviously this method is going to take a bit more effort since you need to like actually make an entire game. I'm going to take an example of my friend's game. It's called 1 Robux is equal to 2 shapes, and the entire gimmick is to make the server lag by spamming Robux, which therefore spams a ton of shapes, obviously. Now my game, called The Final Countdown, has 1.6 million visits. It's still pretty active, but it doesn't compare to its 2,000 players it once averaged. And basically the gimmick of my game is to strike curiosity. The game has a 1 million second timer, which saves and is global across all servers. This timer can be brought down by waiting it out, spending Robux, or simply by doing things in a game like completing an obby or by playing Plinko. Alright. Also, every time the timer approaches 0, there's like a massive spike of players, since everyone wants to find out what happens when it reaches 0.
Look at
but
this guy
since the
crawling up
game
my
died
leg,
down,
dude.
there's no more spikes of players. Now here's the
What the
stats for
frick
both
is
of
he
our
wanting?
games. My friend's game, 1 Robux is 2 shapes, has 1 million visits. It took like a week to make, and it made him 1.5 million Robux, which equals to $5,245. And now my game, called The Final Countdown, has
It's a good idea.
1.6 million visits and still has a few players
I like
playing.
this video,
So
but I do
3
think
days to
that
make, and
this
made
part,
2.3
just there could be
million
fair
Robux,
warning
which equals
of
to
just not to use
8,000
it. Like, it's
US
okay,
dollars,
like
but
the
since I live
information's
in
there, I
Canada,
like that,
it's
but it's like fair warning, and this is what's
10,874
making me think that he just knows about it. He hasn't really
If you don't know how to code,
dabbled in
I
it.
suggest watching tutorials or by simply trying to understand other people's code. The way which helped me the most was to look through open source games and trying to understand what each script and each function does. If you use this method, make sure the game is well scripted and isn't just a bunch of garbage thrown together. Also keep in mind there's also tutorials on how to build and how to make GFX and art and whatnot. It's not really that hard, it just takes a lot of practice. I bet after like a week or 2 of messing around in studio, you guys could be skilled enough to do commissions. And maybe like after 2 months or so, you can make a gimmick game like me and my friend and make thousands of dollars. The moment you give up is the moment you let someone else win.
I mean, he did. The way he said that, I just feel like is not. I don't know, dude. Cause look, I'm telling you guys from my experience, I wouldn't pursue certain stuff, or I'm giving you guys fair warning of like, yo, there's like no opportunities. Like if you guys want to get paid salary in this space, there's like no opportunities. It was mostly luck. So it's like stuff like that, you know? So I just don't like that people say stuff like this and they plant seeds in other people's minds of thinking that they can do the same when it's a lot harder than how simple he's laying it out. There's a lot more components, it's a lot more complex, and there's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of time that goes into it. So I don't like this video for the fact of how I made 2.3 Robux in 3 days of work, because it's really not 3 days of work if we're really being serious. He probably spent over a year maybe to get to this point. Let's look at how long old his channel is. Look, donating 6.9k Robux, and please donate. This is over a year old. So this video is over a year old. And yeah, like so really in all, to get to this point, he spent so much time to get there. It was so difficult. So 3 days of work, okay, like maybe you made the game in 3 days, but how much time did it take you to get to that, to be able to make that game? You know what I'm saying? I do like the video though. I do like the video though, but I think there could have been fair warning. I think it's better if you don't plant seeds. Like, okay, like yes, people can make this much money, but realistically, like let's talk about like all the complexity and all the components surrounding how to get here. And I don't think he did that in that video. Maybe he did though. I didn't watch it all. It's only 4 minutes, so we did watch actually a good little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna go to this one real quick, see what this one's about. I did like the video though. I do like this guy's content.
Yo, my bad if I'm not talking that loud. It's kind of late right now for me, but anyways. In my last video about how I made a lot of Robux in 3 days of work, half of the comments were actually asking how to get players in your game in the first place. Instead of stretching the video
the
out
editing
to 20 minutes
style,
long,
and I do
like
like that
everyone
he's
else,
chilled.
I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know without yapping.
Website stuff.
The first thing you need to do is to make sure that you have a nice game icon and thumbnail so that people actually want to play your game. The second thing, which isn't necessary but helps a bit, is having keywords in your game description. Make sure you also have emojis. It looks nice and players will want to play a bit more. Just make sure you don't exaggerate.
It's like, yeah, like good info.
You guys, keeping track of your game's analytics is detrimental.
Thumbnail can definitely be somewhat of a make or break.
If your game is buns, it'll straight up just tell you. What you need to do is go in the creator hub, click your game, and then
if a game's gonna get suggested, it's
if you don't have the button, then I think it means that your game must be open for at least a week, but I'm not actually sure what the requirement is. Now, once you're in the overview menu, you want to make sure that all of these stats, all of these bars are either green, yellow, or worst case scenario at like the top of red. Now, let me explain how to raise each one of these individually.
Okay, so we have average session time, day 1 retention, day 7 retention, player conversion rate, unique user. I like that he's going over this. And there's probably not a lot of other videos that are breaking it down the way that he's breaking it down. I do like
to increase your average session time. Just make sure your game's enjoyable. If your game's an obby, make sure there's plenty of stages, and if your game's a simulator and incremental, just make sure the progression isn't too slow. I mean, you get the point. This is kind of straightforward, but you can also always go.
29 Yo, I know a lot of companies are out there making brand experiences, wishing they had playtime like this.
Down the Souls RNG route and make your players AFK overnight.
That is so funny. They're striving.
Okay, day 1 retention.
They're striving. Oh wait, that wasn't the playtime. That was the percentage. Wait, no, yeah, 29.8 minutes. What the fuck? Is this Photoshop?
Kind of straightforward.
Is this an
but
error?
you can also always go down the
Oh, I see. Okay, I see now.
goals
Yeah,
on G route
yeah.
and make
That's
your
crazy.
players AFK overnight for the best stuff. Okay, day one retention is the percentage of players that come back
Yeah,
to
that's
the
a
game
different
after a day of
statistic. I
joining.
get it now.
If your game's fun enough, this shouldn't be a problem. Basically the same thing as day one retention, but it's the same amount of players that rejoin but a week later. This is the percentage of players which will spend Robux on your game. Just don't shove a ton of rainbow buttons everywhere on the side of your screen, because yeah, just maybe add like a subtle notification or something. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's just the amount of Robux you get per paying player. This is the amount. Make sure your icon and your thumbnail looks nice, and don't add unnecessary bloat to the game title.
Yeah, let's go to other stuff.
I don't think having a bad like to dislike ratio changes much algorithm wise, but if someone clicks on your game and notices a 30% like ratio, they're probably going to click away. To increase this, add like goals in the description or in the game. If you want to add a like counter in your game, here's how you do it. This is probably the most important tip in the entire video. You want to add a button in your game that invites friends. Here's how you do that.
I like this guy's video a lot. I like this guy's video a lot. I like this guy's content and the way he breaks it down. So this part,
I don't think having a bad like to dislike
I love what he's saying about this. So he's saying that he doesn't think that, I mean, you heard it. He doesn't think that this is going to be necessarily a big like negative impact on your game, but he's letting you know, like, but there are certain times where he thinks that other people or some people are gonna just click away because of the ratio. So he's just bringing awareness to that, but he also is saying like he doesn't think that it's gonna be like a make or break to a certain extent. So I like what he's saying about that. I would somewhat agree with that.
Ratio changes much.
Me personally, I wouldn't want to have my game be so far like on the downside. I think that I just wouldn't want that for a game that I put out. So I'd make sure that was not going to be the case. But how can you, I don't know if he's mentioning it in the video, but how can you make it so that you don't get a huge dislike? I think it really comes down to make sure you don't have game breaking bugs, make sure your game loop is polished and your mechanics are polished. Mechanics go into game loop. Game loop is what a player is doing, because every good game has a game loop where the player does this, then they're back at this, then they're back at, and they just rinse and repeat the cycle. Okay, and if they're able to do that and not even notice, I think those are the best games. Yeah, I like this video a lot, dude. This guy's
easy way to get players.
Content.
Here's a rundown on everything I do when running an ad. You create a campaign, the name doesn't matter. I select lifetime budget. Now, lifetime essentially does
He's
like
even showing you how to make a
every
campaign
2 hours or so, and it brings in much more players than
Is
daily.
this
for me, daily used to be the strat.
I think this is the cash method, because you can use dollars now. You don't have to use Robux.
Ad manager first came out, but yeah, it's not really like that anymore. You want to make the ad last exactly 1 day. I haven't tested different ad durations, but yeah, it just spreads out your players in that time frame. Anything like that? The bidding is your. Just select your game for the ad to run. And yeah, the ad should be working after like an hour. 0.01 or 0.02.
This is good. The bidding system is so good. I don't think this was in last year. Maybe even the beginning of this year. I don't remember when this got added. This is such a good system. It gives you more control on where your money's going. I like that. You want to
actually bid like 0.01 or 0.02. And then finally, just select your game.
Like if you're on a budget, that helps people that's on a budget.
The ad to run. And yeah, the ad should be working after like an hour or so of posting it. For 20 ad credits, which is 5,700 Robux, my average amount of players in total is around 2,000 to 2,500. I don't even actually know if those stats are good, so let me know in the comments how many players you guys get in total.
Dude, I really love this guy's content. Yeah, this guy's making good content. I love that he says he doesn't know. So many freaking people on YouTube don't say that, and it grinds my gears because it's so disingenuous. Um, when they're not even saying that they have no idea what they're talking about, and they're just talking about it and just saying it like it's a fact. It's just crazy. Really love that dude's content. That's gonna be it for this video. I don't know if I'm gonna break this up or not. I'll just post it. Let me know if I should maybe break this up. This was like 3 different videos, I feel like. This was a game review, a dev story, and also reviewing this guy's video that I just happened to come across. Oh, because I was gonna look for that dude that was like, I made 100,000 through Roblox commissions, and I was gonna call BS and explain why this is wrong information, but I think he deleted it. He did get a ton of backlash from the community, which I'm impressed by. I'm impressed by the community for that. But yeah, anyways, guys, I hope everybody's having a good day. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you guys are having a good life. Hope you guys are doing amazing things. I'm sure some of you are, and for those that aren't, I'm sure you will. I will see you guys later. Peace.